Hey there, Intelligent Automation community. Josh Noble back for another round at this, and as I mentioned last time, we're going to jump right into things that you can check out this week. If you're looking for something on demand, I highly recommend ISG's 5th podcast in their Bots and Beyond series. This podcast series is hosted by ISG's Wayne Butterfield, who's been in the RPA game since before it was even called robotics process automation. His initial work at Telefonica UK led to many of the best practices that are now instilled across RPA centers of excellence around the globe. In ISG's 5th podcast episode, titled Scale or Fail, Wayne's joined by Shail Chiara, who I previously worked with at Blue Prism. And in fact, I think Shail is unique in that he might be the only person who's held a C-level executive position at all 3 major RPA vendors. So he has quite an interesting first-hand industry experience that you really just can't find anywhere else. In this particular podcast episode, Shail shares his experience working with customer forums over the last 5+ years. He shares how to calculate automation value, because often those metrics are just wrong. He shares 5 key elements for building a successful automation program, a few bits around inhibitors to scaling that program, and really changes around the value that RPA has evolved to deliver over the last 5 years or so. I mentioned that Wayne at ISG got his start working at Telefonica in the UK. And interesting enough, contact center seems to be the hot topic around webinars this week. That's why I have my headset here. So on November 18th at 11 o'clock Eastern Time, Blue Prism and Salesforce.com are hosting a webinar titled Exceptional Customer Service in Finance and Manufacturing. This webinar is going to be hosted by Salesforce's Baman Motivala, who is VP over ISVs in Europe and APAC for Salesforce, and Blue Prism's Bruce Mazza, who is the VP over Global Technology Alliance Programs at Blue Prism. Baman and Bruce are going to cover how AI-powered CRM helps to drive the speed of processing with exceptional customer experience. They're going to cover how pre-built integrations between Salesforce.com and Blue Prism help to expedite the creation of new digital workers that can automate manual and repetitive tasks within Salesforce, as well as how these integrations can be used to serve as a bridge to pull information into Salesforce from external legacy systems so that a user has a single consistent user experience within Salesforce. And then finally, they'll cover how Salesforce's Einstein is used to improve the context of information that's coming up on a screen for a user within Salesforce, and how it works to improve their decision-making in Salesforce. Then for a very different webinar topic, on November 19th at 10 o'clock Eastern Time, you can check out Way Beyond RPA for Contact Centers. Set your ROI expectations higher. And marketing folks, we really need to work on shortening those webinar titles. But I digress. So on this webinar on November 19th, you'll hear about 3 initial deployments of Blue Prism's Service Assist within telco, energy, and the financial service contact center space. Each customer that was in the beta program for this reduced contact center average handling time by 50 to 85% with this new contact center solution. So I am not a contact center expert by any means, but those sound like some pretty big numbers. So hopefully, like you, I'll be tuning in on November 19th to find out how Service Assist was able to provide that type of efficiency gain in contact centers and 3 completely different vertical markets. And finally, make sure to check out the PR Newswires on the morning of November 16th for some pretty big product news from Blue Prism. As always, I will have the links to everything that I've covered in this video down in the first comments below. Have a great kickoff to the start of your week. Thanks for tuning in.